So this isn't really an exact top 5 order. I just know that these things are going to be the need the most to really help the game bounce back, right? All right, number 1. All right, Conquest / endgame PvP, right? I think there's no question about it, right? Overworld ganking has kind of been slowed down heavily. You could argue either due to Chime, due to a lot of good players hopping on other games, they got too bored of Chime, right? And a lot of that Chime focus kind of took focus away from overworld ganks. Servers being laggy as well kind of could persuade people not to really gank in the overworld as much, right? And then also, not even kidding, the 15 drown things might get people annoyed and might not want them overworld ganking as much. But I think if they add like a very solid endgame PvP, such as Conquest plus rankings for overworld ganks, right? That'd be very strong with the good rewards. You can throw in Chime rewards in there for Chime rankings as well, and then guild-based PvP, why not? Those should be pretty solid for endgame PvP, and that should kind of hold PvP down for a good while, actually, right? As long as the rewards are good enough, but also like not easy to get. You can't just get it after like a couple of days of playing. Like, these should be rewards that like you have like rewards that you get after a couple of days of playing, after a few weeks of playing, and then after a few months of playing. I'm talking like those really good top tier player rewards that you kind of want to strive for in the long term, right? And these can be through whatever it is, Conquest, etc., right? Number 2, I think next up is also endgame PvE. I've previously stated this, and I'm just going to keep it short. They pulled their punch a little bit too much with Layer 2, and Layer 2 is just a little bit too stale. The rest of the PvP in the game is kind of weaker than Layer 2, besides Hell Mode, and Hell Mode isn't just cutting it, right? So we need something new that surpasses both of them in terms of being unique, being fun, and being able to hold PvE players down, right? If you actually look at, probably like, if I had to like give it like a chart, right? Let's give it like a pie chart. I'd say that a strong 70% of the game are PvE. Not even kidding. You might be like, what? No way, Agamatsu. No. If you look at polls, you look at the type of players you see in like the Discord, you just look at the game in general. A lot of people are just kind of trash at PvP, right? And don't like PvP. Look at when Voidwalker first dropped. Look at even way back then when the game first dropped in general, right? When people were getting at Arisia, right? There's a lot of complaints surrounding PvP and how it's handled. But a lot of people would rather just not encounter PvP at all, right? A lot of people would just prefer pure PvE, right? So I think if they want to maintain a very strong PvE player base, they need a very, very strong PvE endgame, because at the moment Layer 2 is very repetitive and is not providing that strong enough challenge for these PvE players to really keep playing the game. This is why you also saw a drop when Arcane Odyssey first came out, right? When it first dropped. A lot of those PvE players, I guarantee you, and probably some PvP players too, who got bored of the PvP and the PvE, left to go see if Arcane Odyssey was going to give them that cure to that itch of what they're looking for, right? And then a lot of them have probably come back because, you know, Arcane Odyssey may have not been what they were looking for. I think Deepwoken can definitely provide more for the PvE players. This can be through world events. Hopefully they are very difficult and require multiple people. Randomly generated content that is also keeping you on your toes. Overworld dungeons that they claim will be very, very tough. And, you know, Void Sea Tower, throw that in there too, why not? And yeah, that goes for number 2. Number 3, I think this one is very clear. A new attunement, right? I'm just going to put that, a new attunement in general, right? I think almost everything, besides like a very few exceptions, right? I think everything that they've introduced in the game has gotten something new, except attunements, right? So let's like there's been new PvP at kind of, at least Chime got rankings, PvE got Layer 2, right? Murmurs got new rhythm, we got new enchants, new bells, Origins got added, right? There's been kind of like a lot of new step ups and new additions to each of the systems in the game. But I think the one that we really didn't hammer down was a new attunement, right? Oaths were kind of there, but oaths I don't think really are, they're kind of just like add-ons, right? It's like kind of like the sprinkles and the cherry on top of the ice cream, but we need a new ice cream flavor. We're tired of eating the same chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, blueberry, and I guess grape. You know what I'm saying? We need a new flavor. You know what I'm saying? We need a new flavor. And I think it's probably definitely top 3 new things that people would implement in the game is a new attunement. I guarantee you, if they had that little poll, right? That Deepwoken poll. Let's go on the Discord. You know what I'm talking about, right? I put money on this. I would put money on this that if they what's it called? All right. If they put money, or if I put money on it, I would win a large sum of money. If they had like a little D option right here where it says bam, new attunement, it would definitely take #1 by a long shot, with award events probably following up after, and then Conquest after, right? And I can understand why it's difficult for the devs to introduce a new attunement. You know, it's a lot of work for them to do, and they have to make it diverse enough and different enough. I really do feel like Dawnwalker could have been that. And a lot of people were like, "Ah, well, it's enough." I really feel like that if they were creative enough, they could have turned Dawnwalker definitely into a new attunement. But whatever, right? Life Weave probably could probably be that next thing, right? Maybe Blood in some. You guys get what I'm saying, right? But new attunement would definitely, hopefully, shake up a meta, shake up gameplay for people. There'd be a lot of different mixing matching opportunities, especially like dual attunement. If it was Life Weave, right? Like Life Weave Shadow, Life Weave and Ice with the Arc Water Oath. You know what I'm saying? Some weird shit like that actually doesn't make sense because Arc Water is Flame and Lightning. But you get what I'm saying, right? Just a lot of variety added into PvP and I guess potentially PvE, potential new playstyles, etc. Right? A little break. Let me get a drink. It's good, punchy. Let's resume. #4, rewards, right? I think we need to give players a reason to keep playing the game at the end game and at a higher level, right? Of course, with progression, the devs want to keep it horizontal like this, right? But at the same time, everything that Deepwoken has to offer right now, you can kind of currently complete. And with not that much difficulty, right? Getting an enchant, you have to pick an enchant. Getting high tier health equipment, that can be a grind. That can be a grind. I will agree with you there. But it's really just star boots, getting a good Iron Singer, which is, you know, a couple of layer 2 runs, maybe a lot of layer 2 runs if you're unlucky, right? Getting a legendary weapon could take you some time, right? But those are not as valuable nowadays. You could probably definitely find one from trading if you're really that unlucky, right? My fault, y'all. And yeah, deep gems, it's not really rare anymore. You guys get what I'm saying, right? I think Deepwoken players kind of want something new to grind for, right? At the moment, you know, the highest tier of things we see is, you know, enchants, and on top of that, legendary weapons. I think it's about time we get a brand new sort of reward, bruh. A new tier of item, a new tier of something, just something else that we can get that's not necessarily better than what we have, but just different enough to where people are going to want it and people are going to want to try it out, right? Just like essentially how oaths are, right? When new oaths drop, people are going to want to try them out. They're going to be different, but not necessarily always more powerful, right? But they should be, I think, more rare, and they should not be as rare as when the game first dropped with enchants and shit like that. Personally, I would take that, but I know a lot of people and a lot of players, the casual player, right, are going to want to try and get these new tier of things. So to keep it a little bit accessible, not as rare, but not as easy or as accessible as it is now, because I don't know, we just need something to grind for. That's it. That's really it. That's the point. I don't know what the new reward could be, right? Obviously, I believe artifacts are the next step if they implement them smartly, right? It could be whatever you want. Edicts, sure, right? New races that you can unlock, whatever. I don't care what it is, as long as I can grind for it, and it isn't just something like, oh, well, instead of 25 health on my boots, I can grind for 30 health. That's boring as fuck. We want it to be like, yo, there's a super hard event that just dropped, and it's dropping the new legendary boots. Remember the legendary boots that you could equip? Yes! They added them as an artifact. Wait, what? What them hoes do? I don't know, bruh. Like, apparently it's being gatekept right now. We gotta go find it out. You know what I'm saying? Some vibes like that, right? I want it to feel like that again, where I have a reason to go and do something, but not to the point where it's like how it is in GPO, where it's like 0.1% drop rate. I have to keep fighting this one boss, and it's just kind of annoying. They have to find a good balance for it, but I guarantee you, they can probably find some good balance. Maybe throw it in Conquest, maybe throw it in multiple world events, maybe specific spots in some new area they introduce. All right. Now I gotta think for the last one. Give me a little break again. Get tired of like checking this thing a lot. Alright, now for number 5. Now number 5 I don't think is personally as important as these other 4, but it's like number 5. Like this one is guaranteed number 5. The top 4 before that you can mix and match around on what you think is the most important, but number 5 is definitely number 5, and I think that's actually overworld, like the overworld feeling, right? So if you look at Arcane Odyssey's overworld, if I had to rank them, right, I would say that like Arcane Odyssey overworld is like Super Saiyan God, right? It's like Super Saiyan God Goku, right? Super Saiyan God Goku, and then Deepwoken is like Super Saiyan 1 Goku from the Frieza saga. Like, yeah, it has stuff, but it's leagues behind, in my opinion, in what it could be, right? Its potential is just far outmatched right now by Arcane Odyssey. We need to let Deepwoken actually like get stronger, right? Deepwoken's overworld scene needs a training arc. It does, right? It's just the combat, I think, for Deepwoken personally, right, this is just my personal subjective opinion, but I think Deepwoken combat is way better suited to have a lot more cooler NPC fights and a lot more interesting interactions with fights versus sea monsters. I'll speak on that one a little bit later, but the potential is a lot stronger than Arcane Odyssey's, because personally I didn't really click with Arcane Odyssey's combat, as I know a lot of you guys probably haven't, I'm assuming, right? And I feel like Deepwoken could just have a lot better of a chance if it had the same features and a lot more of a extensive overworld and a lot more detail added to what events could be. Like, I mean, just a few examples from Arcane Odyssey. You can rescue random ass niggas from the sea, right? They have those like turn-in quests where you can go across the sea and turn in cargo, right? They have a very important one in my opinion. They have NPC ships that can attack you and that are also like chill with you, that can be like allies. I think that right there alone is just way better than what we have at the current Deepwoken Sea, right? The fact that like random ass boats can shoot at you, and then that the NPC, this is the crazy part, that the NPCs on the boats can like jump off and like, you know, try and board your ship once their boat is destroyed. Like, that is cool as fuck. I think it'd be really cool if there was like you know, like an authority ship that was like traveling and trying to attack you because they don't like you, you know what I'm saying? You messed up, and they have like a really strong authority captain, not like the one at Erido, but I mean like this NPC is like pairing like Squibbo, like he is tough, you know what I'm saying? And he does a lot of damage. I think stuff like that would just be really cool. But Deepwoken, it just doesn't have it. It just has Lionfish, Brainsucker. Actually, like everything it has is annoying too. You realize that? Like almost everything it is like it has is annoying. Lionfish attacking is annoying. Brainsuckers are useless and annoying. The only time you want to see the Whaler event is if you're trying to get Voidwalker, and when you're trying to look for it, it's annoying to find. Like, why is it all fucking annoying? It just serves to be like a tedious task if you just want to travel somewhere, right? Instead of being this dangerous, you know, super, oh my goodness, you know, like it's always like Deepwoken in the lore is like way scarier and way more like troublesome and scary than like Deepwoken gameplay. You ever realize that? I'll talk about that later. But yeah, the only thing I was a little bit concerned if they try to like make the overworld better is like water fights, because water fights so far have not been the best, right? I'm just referring to Kaido, if you're wondering. Kaido always gets flung. Trying to find him in the water is kind of a pain. You know, you always need like a bunch of food and shit, you know, which could provide interesting problems for the players to prepare and try and take on, right? But like if they were to make water fights somehow a bit less glitchy, laggy, you know, issues for the players to deal with, and a lot more just straight up dangerous, and like, yo, you need to prepare to, you know, go out on the sea, like, you know, Deepwoken originally way back then promised, right? I think that could provide for an excellent experience, right? And it could be something for both. Well, actually, I don't know about both, but at least something for these PvE players to love. For PvP, at least they could have cool ass water PvP fights. islands to try and take over in PvP, artifacts on the sea to try and get at PvP is a little bit more, you know, up in the air. But, you know, that's why I put that one at number 5, because I think, you know, this one isn't immediately needed, but I think these first 4 are definitely something that people really want. I'd say if I had to personally rank them, I'd put Conquest first, endgame PvP second, reward actually number 3, then a new attunement number 4, and then overworld shit number 5. Because Conquest and endgame PvP can at least hold players for a good long while if it's done very well. Rewards on top of that, rewards might need to be done first actually for Conquest and endgame PvP, and then a new attunement can come after that to like add on top, like damn, and a new attunement, you know what I'm saying, that sort of feeling. And then like the overworld overworld you know, redux revamp is, you know, could be a very nice dessert with the main dishes. And yeah, that goes over the top five things that I think Deepwoken really needs at the moment. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to go click on these other videos, man. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.